Both of my parents were on Social Security disability. My mother has MS. She had cancer, congestive heart failure, and my father is an alcoholic, still drinking a lot. Went through back surgery, so he ended up going on oxycodone. So it really messes up with your frontal lobe, and he had a very, very challenging childhood. My parents smoked in the house, so I was so self-conscious all the time going into school because my backpack smelled like smoke, and I had to just do everything on my own, right? I started a paper route when I was 10 years old.
Our God, Lord, we just come to you. We're so grateful for this opportunity. We're so glad that we were able to come together today, and that we just ask that you're able to allow us to use this platform for your good, to be vessels for you, to allow you to speak through us, God, to allow us to be able to create hope and impact and love and drive into other individuals in this life, God, and in this world, and just fill us with your love as we walk through this next hour, God. We thank you, and we pray this in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Guys, we're here again, another episode of the Discipline Legacy Podcast. We have a rock star guest today. Miss Samantha Peters came over from Tampa, took the trip. We just did her podcast. She's killing the game in the podcast game. She's got hundreds under her belt. So I'm definitely going to learn a thing or two from her. And I'm super excited to have you. And I'm ready to.
Yeah, let's do this. Thank you so much for having me. Your studio is absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I'm really excited to dive in.
I guess we'll just dive right in. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got to where you are in your life now. And we'll go from there.
Yeah. So much to unpack, but I started off, obviously, society always tells us after going to high school, you have to go to college, get your degree, and so forth. So I got my degree in elementary education.
Okay.
And I got my master's in teacher leadership. And before all of that, I like to talk about how I was brought up. So both of my parents were on Social Security disability. My mother has MS. She had cancer, congestive heart failure, and my father is an alcoholic, still drinking a lot. Went through back surgery, so he ended up going on oxycodone. So it really messes up with your frontal lobe. And he had a very, very challenging childhood growing up. His father beat him, was very negative, and so he just projected all of that pain onto us, right? And so I know we talked a little bit when I was interviewing you. I felt like I had to just do so many things to get their attention. And I always felt like I had to just do everything on my own, right? I started a paper route when I was 10 years old. I started babysitting. Right when I was 16, I started working at the bank to be able to provide for myself. And so all of these really small things in the moment, I thought, it's like, why can't my parents be like my friends' parents, right? And be normal? Because I had so much shame about how I grew up. I know you mentioned also, smelling like weed from your home, and my parents smoked in the house. So I was so self-conscious all the time going into school because my backpack smelled like smoke, and I just wanted to hide who I was. And so I was very introverted. I was very shy, because I didn't want anyone to know what I was going through.
You're the only child?
No, I had two brothers.
Two brothers?
So I have an older brother who's about 2 years older, and then I have a younger brother who's 5 years younger than me. And so, yeah. So I feel like in those moments, even going through college in my younger and upper 20s, I was like, why are all of these things happening to me, right? I thought they were happening to me. I was the victim mindset. And so it wasn't until I started really opening myself up to mentorship, seeing that you create your own reality. So I had to really take a hard look in the mirror and say, okay, do I want to live the life that my parents lived? And the answer was no. So I had to do so much introspection, so much healing, and really going back to those deep, dark moments that I experienced in my childhood. And I had to rewrite them for a more empowering story. So it was a lot of just rewriting my subconscious mindset, right? 95% of our subconscious mind is created by the age of 18. So if you're not consciously aware of what you're thinking or your programs, and you're not going back to, okay, where did this belief come from? You're just going to be running on autopilot.
I think it's worse for men. I think we're still like 16 or 12, I think.
Yes. So I think you're talking about your prefrontal lobe.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, your prefrontal cortex.
I don't think I grew up till I was 30. I think that was
Yeah.
like the mature
Yeah, they
spot.
say men's frontal lobe doesn't develop until they're like 28. But yeah, I think it might be a little later.
I'll vouch for that.
Yeah.
My frontal lobe's still developing.
But yeah, I feel like I did what I needed to do. I put myself through college. I was teaching for a long time, and teaching was actually really challenging. I was in inner city, so I got to see a lot of children.
Where are you from, too?
I'm from Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah, so I grew up in Bristol, Connecticut, and lived there for most of my life. I mean, I just moved to Florida about 6-7 months ago.
Wow.
So.
And you love it, don't you?
I love it. I wish I did it sooner. Anyone listening
I went to
this?
Connecticut like 2 months ago. It was Danbury.
Okay,
I just felt depressed.
Yeah.
It was like the time of the year. It was like there was no lead. Like I was like, this place just makes me feel down. Like.
Yeah, no, the energy there, it's only really nice 3 to 4 months out of the year, I would
I'm sure
say.
it's beautiful, like when there's leaves and
summer,
mountains and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
so fresh to Florida.
Fresh to Florida, and I wish I made the decision earlier. And I think it's really amazing for anyone listening to this to pick up your life and move somewhere new. I've been speaking about this a lot because it makes you evaluate every part of your life, right? What do I want my fitness to look like? What do I want my mindset to look like? Who do I want to surround myself with? Because everything is taken away from you. So you get to build a new self-image. You get to build a new reality for yourself. And I think that's so powerful.
I did. I've lived in like 4 or 5 different. Only in Florida.
Okay.
But I don't think I'll ever leave Florida.
Yeah.
I still have never seen snow.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Like I saw it in Danbury, but it was like the scraped up stuff in the corner that was there for like a week. So I don't count that. It's not real.
Oh, you've never built a snowman?
No, just the balls of snow from scraping it off the freezer and.
That's so funny. Yeah, we grew up with a bunch of snow. I used to build like snow forts and all that fun stuff.
Maybe one day.
One day.
So I wanted to touch on this too. Where did you go to college?
I went to CCSU.
Okay.
Central Connecticut State University.
Okay. So you stayed in Connecticut for that.
Stayed in Connecticut. I decided, because I had to pay through college myself, so I decided to go, even though it was a lot of money, that I wanted to be on campus because I wanted that experience. I wanted to get out of that toxic household and environment, and it still was challenging and difficult. Most people going through college, their parents help to pay for everything, and so I was working 2 jobs, going to school full time, trying to just get by.
I can identify with that. I still stayed here, but it's so crazy. They'll give you a loan to go to college, but they can't get like a business loan or something.
Isn't that wild? They do that for a reason.
Yeah. But I'm still paying for college, and I'm not even in emergency medical operations anymore.
Isn't it? Yeah, I'm still paying for my bachelor's degree. I actually bartended, and I paid everything off with my bartending money for my master's degree.
Wow.
Which was amazing, but I'm still paying for my bachelor's degree.
Yeah. So you're a doctor, or no, master? That's doctor's next, right?
Doctor is next, yeah. I was thinking about it, but then I dived into the personal development world and I started doing network marketing. And I will tell you that network marketing gave me the tool set and the skill set way more than what I paid for my bachelor's and my master's degree.
I would 100% agree.
Yeah.
So that's and talk about network marketing a little bit. What is that, and what was it for you, and how you got into it?
Yeah, so I was teaching at the time and I was bartending every weekend. I was like, there must be more to life. I feel like I'm just living to work and just to pay my bills. And so a complete stranger reached out to me and they were like, oh, have you ever thought about partnering with a company? And at that time, I was really getting into my health and wellness because my mom went through breast cancer, congestive heart failure. She's living with MS. And I was like, I need to be the one to break all these generational curses, even with health. So she was like, have you thought about partnering with a non-toxic beauty brand? And I'm like, no, I would love to hear a little bit more. So long story short, I'm like, if I don't make a decision in my life to change, then my reality is going to stay the same.
100%.
So I decided to take a leap of faith, had no idea what I was doing, and I jumped in and I ranked up pretty fast. I had about 70 people under me on my team. I got the free trips, like a bunch of amazing bonuses, and I saw a different way of living, right? These women who were my coaches they quit their full-time job, they went all in, and so it was a lot about reflection, right? Why am I attracting these? First of all, it was, why am I attracting these women on my team that have these limiting beliefs? And I know that you are a mirror to everyone you meet. And so it was really just changing who I was to start thinking in a more abundant mindset, because growing up, all I knew was scarcity, toxicity. So I had to really realize the programs that I had, the thoughts that I was thinking, and how I needed to switch them to make my business successful. So yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I would suggest anyone listening to this, if you don't know what to do, it's basically free mentorship, and they teach you how to sell yourself. They teach you sales, and it was amazing experience. I mean, I still have a lot of customers under me. I'm not physically growing my team right now, but I still have people under me. I still have customers buying. So yeah, it was just an amazing way to see that you can make passive income, and you don't have to work this amount of hours for this much pay. I can make 10 sales in one day and make as much as I was making in a week. So it just gives you a different perspective and lens on life, which I think is really valuable and important.
It's like a freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
And so why I know I'm going back, but why did you decide to get into elementary teach, or to be a teacher?
I always felt like growing up, I wanted to share my wisdom or teach. I just always had that teacher aspect in me, and I would even have my neighbors come over and we would do like lessons. So I always felt, and I know Aquarius are humanitarians, I always wanted to give back. I don't know, that was just a vision that I've always had for my life. So that's why I went into teaching. Yeah, and I'm still teaching in today, just in a different form. I love it. I love learning. I think we have to be lifelong learners, and I'm always trying to grow and evolve. And I have so many mentors myself that I really look up to. And so I just want to be able to give back and show people what's possible.
So I recently I was serving at the church doing the student ministry. It was like a 2-year commitment. And like, it was, never thought I would ever want to do that. But there's, my son was involved in the ministry, and it was like, I remember this is how I thought. But every time you go to pick him up, it was like a 45-minute line. So I'm like, well, how do I get out of this line? I'm like, oh, well, I can be a volunteer, and then I don't got to wait in line. I can just leave. But that's not why I did it. But so anyway, but there's a lot of teachers that are also volunteers in there. And I mean, like, we'd be sitting around the table, like you eat before the thing started every Wednesday, and these guys are in tears with like just how students are nowadays. Like, and it's like, I give it everything to them, because like, even I don't have a problem with kids. Like, I was a leader for like 11th and 12th grade boys, and it was great. Like, they listen. Like, I still see them in the community and stuff. It's like really cool. But like to see, like, you put your heart and soul into what you do, and that, there's just a lot of kids that just don't care.
Yeah. And
like, I don't remember not caring like that. Like, I think it's I stand up for the next generation. I stand up for the kids nowadays, because I think there's a movement happening that, especially the the Christian movement, but it takes a special person to be able to.
It was hard
to do that, and not for a lot of money. You know what I mean?
I remember walking into my classroom, and so many times I would just be bawling my eyes out certain situations, or parents would come after you for certain things. And I remember my last year teaching, half of my students were special needs. And I'm like, this is not okay. And then what they wanted me to teach in the curriculum, the whole DEI movement and all of the white supremacy, like, I was not okay teaching my first graders about that. So I ended up leaving, but there was so many circumstances and things that happened. And it was, yeah, you're right. It was challenging.
Yeah.
So.
And then moving into network marketing kind of gave you that opportunity. Obviously, you still, loved what you were doing for a living, but it was like, hey, maybe there's a way out.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit, like taking that, because did you end up moving into network marketing full time? And
so I never did network marketing full time. I actually moved into a corporate role. So I got to see how the corporate life worked, and very interesting. I'll just say that. Very hierarchical. What's that word?
Yeah.
Hierarchical.
Hierarchical. That's a good word. I don't even think that is a word, but it's cool. Hierarch.
It is a word.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yes. But I mean, I learned a lot about leadership and development, and to see how a Fortune 14 company runs their systems and their operations. So I think that was really great. So yes, I moved from teaching into the corporate world, still doing network marketing, but on the side, I was building my podcast, I was building my brand, I was doing speaking engagements, and I also became an author. But I feel like the catalyst for all of this was a really challenging moment. I mean, I've been through so many challenging moments, but I think the defining moment where I'm like, okay, I need to make a change was Christmas morning. I think it was back in 2001. My little brother battled with addiction, in and out of the psych ward, drugs, alcohol. And I was sitting there. He was in a coma for 10 days. So I was sitting with him there, holding his hand in the hospital on Christmas morning, and I was just bawling my eyes out. I'm like, I need to break all of these generational curses. I need to be the one in my family. If he needs support, if he needs help, if he needs me to be there for him, like, I need to, create a big empire, and I want to leave a legacy, because I don't want our family to be remembered like this. I don't want our last name to be remembered as like alcoholics and drugs and all of this stuff. And so that was like the really defining moment where, like, okay, I need to make a change. I need to step into my power, because for so long I was very shy, wouldn't speak because of how I grew up. I was just very self-conscious. And so I feel like that really difficult moment gave me the power to say, okay, I need to take my power back. I need to make a declaration. And that's kind of where everything started, and started to blossom, because I made that decision.
Do you think that maybe like you took a lot of stuff on your shoulders, like for like your whole family? Were you like the one that kind of carried it all for them, or?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yep. I would be the one that would be cleaning the house, like using my own money to plant flowers to make our yard look nice, because it was probably like the worst one in our neighborhood. And so, yeah, I had to take on so many roles and responsibilities and take on so much, because my mom was battling MS, and my father was toxic. And so I pretty much had to be my own caretaker. So it was a lot of responsibility. And then
taking care of your brother.
My little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having all that weight, having the doctors call me, being there, showing up in the psych ward for my little brother. So I don't really talk about this too much about like all my experiences with my brother, but I've been really unpacking that and seeing how it really affected me, because I never knew if I was going to get a phone call that he died, or what the circumstance was because of what he was doing. And so he's doing amazing now. I'm so proud of him. Yes, he just bought a house. He's engaged, and he's doing really good things with his life now. So I'm really proud of him for doing that. But it was definitely hard. It was a hard season going through.
Right. I think from being on the other side I've been on both sides really, because I've also dealt with other family members with addiction, and my nephew's still struggling. He's in jail right now. Wow. And, but we don't realize that we're affecting so many people around us. Like when I was caught up in my addiction, I'm like, I care about me and me only, but you don't realize you're destroying your family, and everybody's worried about you. Everybody thinks about you. They don't want to see you like that. And now I get to see it from the other side. Like with my nephew, it's like, dude, you have a beautiful family. Like you got all these things. And, and I pick up the phone for him every time he calls me, if I can. But he's, I sent him some soups, care package. I know how it is. But you don't realize that you're affecting other people. And like, you had to take a look at it, right? You had to be like, hey, is this affecting me as a human? Like as how I carry myself, and with our psychology, but that's so awesome that you were there for him, and that he's doing good now.
Yeah, he's doing great. And I think I really had to take a hard look in the mirror too, because when I was back in college, I was masking so much of the pain that I went through. I was thinking, college is all about drinking and partying. So I was doing that every single weekend, but I didn't realize that that was my coping mechanism for all the pain, all the toxicity, because at that point I wasn't sharing my story. I wasn't doing any introspection. And so I feel like it was probably 2 years ago where I really had that realization that I was using it to try to suppress all of the pain that I went through. Because it's not easy unpacking everything you went through and realizing, okay, this is the belief I thought because of this person. And do I even respect this person? Do I even want to become like this person? So it is a lot of introspection. And I know our pain gets stored in our body. So if we're not like exercising and moving and doing somatic healing, then it's trapped. So it's just been a lifelong journey now of healing. And because my entire life, my baseline was, okay, this is how a father treats, this is how I'm treated by my father, and this is how men treat their wives, their daughters. And so like I didn't have a great example of what that looked like growing up. So I had to completely rewire my mindset of thinking, okay, men are different. They're not all like this. So I think that was a lot of healing that I had to go through too.
I think also too, like you talk about going through the pain and stuff, sharing about it. Like all of our pain has a purpose. You know, it sucks when you're going through it. You're right in the middle of it. You don't want to. Someone's like, "Oh, just pray about it." Like, dude, you have no idea how I'm hurting right now. But you know, we get through it, right? We have no choice. We get through the pain. We get through the suffering, and you can utilize that. Sharing your story may help someone else later on.
Yeah, I feel like you have to feel it to heal it. And a lot of people just want to mask the pain. And so it's really sitting with yourself in those deep, deep, dark moments. And for me, journaling has been really helpful, and prayer and like seeking a higher power. But yeah, it's definitely not easy. So anyone listening to this, it's going to bring you to your knees. It's going to be very, very challenging. But I also agree with you that your pain becomes your purpose and your mess becomes your message in this world. And everything you went through is everything you made it through. So if you can get through those really dark times, and I've also started to realize that all of those hardships were building my character.
Yes.
They were making me more resilient.
Yes.
They were making me seek a higher power. They were making me just become so strong and have a really strong foundation to be able to handle everything that I'm doing today. So those really difficult moments are there to help grow you.
Yes. Anytime something bad happens or a circumstance arises, that's like my first question is like, God, what do you want me to learn from this?
Yes.
Because then instead of being caught up in it, now I'm like creating a way out, really. Because like this isn't, poor me. It's all right. How can I make this better in some way, shape, or form to help somebody else or how.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, perspective on and getting through those things, being able to get to the other side and say, hey, you know what? I made it through this. I learned this, and bring it on. I'm not saying that I say bring on adversity, because I don't want to speak that over my life, but I know that I'm able and capable to handle anything, because God wouldn't put that mountain in front of us if we couldn't get to the other side.
I agree. Yes. I think all those really deep, dark moments are shaping us, and they give us the tools and the skills to be able to overcome that. But like you mentioned, just changing your perspective. I always think that life is happening for us. And I think it's a really good question, like you said, to ask, okay, why is this happening to me, right? What is it teaching me? And every adversity has the seed of a greater benefit. And so I really do think all of those things are meant to grow us and to make us better people.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Corporate world, what were you doing there? And is that where you're still at? What do you got going on?
Yeah, so in corporate, I was doing a lot of data analysis, and I was working with the senior leadership team to really figure out the most important things that they had to make decisions on. So I got to be a really part of these big meetings to see how they think strategically using data. I mean, data is huge now, right? To be able to make decisions, growing your company and so forth. So I think that was really rewarding for me. Now I'm partnered with a company where I help with their learning and development. So I'm basically the one that goes in and takes a look at what things are happening, looking at the data, how can we change this, operational efficiency and all of that. So I do that, but I'm also partnered with quite a few brands, and then the podcast and speaking and all of that. So I do a lot of different things, but I feel like everything I do lights me up, and I love it.
That's awesome. So everything is making you who you are today.
Exactly. Everything I made it through is everything I am today. And it's interesting looking back. You can always connect the dots, but even when I was teaching, I wrote curriculum for the district and I started teaching professional development. And I realize now that those skills have helped me become an author. They've helped me become a speaker. They've helped me, I do a bunch of workshops, like women empowerment workshops. I'm relaunching my women's empowerment community too.
That's awesome.
So yes, it's just all coming together, and you realize that you had to go through those circumstances to give you the ability and the mindset to be able to step into your power and actually help other people.
Let's go there now, because I want to hear about your book and what the path and how you got there and all that.
Yes. So I have quite a few ebooks out. So I have one that's called Unleash Your Inner Confidence. So it's everything that I had to do, because I mentioned that I was very shy. I would suppress what I had to say. Growing up, I was told that, nothing I said really mattered. Kids should be seen and not heard. I'm sure you've heard that before. Yeah. And so it's basically 5 different things that I had to do in order to gain my confidence. And I'll speak to one of them because I think it's really important. Anyone listening to this, especially if you're in entrepreneurship or you're growing your business, is keeping the promises you make to yourself. I think self-trust, your identity, how you see yourself and how other people see you starts with those small incremental actions that you say, okay, I'm going to wake up at this time. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to read this many pages, and you actually show up for yourself. Yes. You start building self-confidence and self-worth, and that's directly correlated with the confidence that you had. So I wrote that ebook, and then I have one on 10 pillars to create happiness, because I think happiness is a choice and you have to make a decision every single day. And then I have one on being able to manifest your dream life, because I've also published a manifestation journal, and all of these things that I've had to do that's helped me now are helping hundreds of other people. So I definitely need to give you a copy of my manifestation journal, but through my healing journey, I started really focusing on gratitude, right? What am I grateful for? Because I don't think God can give you more if you're not grateful for what you have. And then it's affirmation. So to rewrite your self-image, you have to see yourself in a different way. Yeah. So powerful I am statements. And then I have a power list of 5 non-negotiables that you're going to do each day to make progress on where you want to go. And then my favorite part, I always tell my audience, is visualizing your future as if you already had it and writing it down. So for me, I did a lot of scripting. I did a lot of writing. Like, I'm so grateful and thankful now that I'm living on the water in Tampa, Florida, and I made it happen. It's like all of these things. I'm so grateful and thankful that I was on Mylett's TV show. All of these things I had to see in my mind before they became physical reality, and you have to believe it for yourself. So, and then I also have a journal out. It's called 101 Journal Prompts to Heal from Childhood Trauma. So all the coping mechanisms that I had to realize that I was holding on to, how trauma affects your love language, how it affects like every aspect of your life. So there's deep journal prompts to help you heal from what you went through. So those are my main books. I don't have a book out yet. That's definitely one of my plans, but I do have journals out. I do have a lot of ebooks.
I think the ebooks are the way of the world nowadays anyway, because it's, but the only reason that I went with the paperback with this, the devotional, is because it's like a morning routine, and I feel like that, and somebody said it to me, they're like, if you open your paper Bible, like leave the phone to the side in the morning, and then that way you're not getting distracted. So it was more like just having the actual tactile book there in front of you. But so awesome. Like, everything you went through has now become something to help others.
Exactly.
That's in a nutshell. I mean, that's like everything you just talked about was like everything you went through as growing up. So that's cool. That's really amazing.
Thank you.
Podcast. You're 100+ episodes in.
Yeah, I think we're at like 120 right now.
That's awesome. Talk about it. Let's hear about it.
Yes. So it kind of started, I listen to so many podcasts. I love listening to Ed Mylett's podcast, so many other incredible ones, but I learned so much from them. And then when I was in network marketing, I brought on a lot of very incredible speakers to help my team grow and expand. And I saw just how big of an impact it had for them. And then I'm like, you know what? Why not start a podcast? And at that point, I was still scared of speaking, right? I always felt like what I wasn't going to say or what I said wasn't
So
going to carry
speaking's
through.
new for you.
Speaking, I would say the past 3 years, I've been really sharing my story and opening up, or maybe even a little longer. But yeah, I was always scared to speak.
Really?
And I'm like, the only way that I'm going to overcome that fear is actually put myself in an uncomfortable position and actually do it. So I'm like, let's start a podcast. So it was actually, I started with one of the girls that was on my team for network marketing, and we probably did 10 episodes, and then she got pregnant and she couldn't commit. And then one of my friends did like 2 episodes, and that didn't end up working out. And then one of my friends, she's my best friend, I'm actually seeing her later tonight. We did probably 50 or 60 episodes together.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just growing your network. I went to so many personal development workshops and conferences, and that's where I started meeting people and then just reaching out to people. And so I started to expand my network exponentially and started meeting these most incredible people. Like, I'm interviewing the Queen of Congo next week.
Wow.
Like, I've interviewed Olympic champions. I've interviewed Ryan Lochte and like so many incredible people. And so it just shows you what's possible. And I love hearing stories of people overcoming their adversity like you shared on my podcast. So it's just given me a different lens. And then it's helped so many people. I have incredible messages that I receive almost daily about how a podcast episode has helped change someone else's life. So that really gives me the motivation to keep going. So it's all about impact. It's all about making a difference.
How did you come up with the idea?
The idea of the podcast?
Of your, the name and all that. Like, what was the...
So it first started, it was actually called Ladies of Light to begin with.
Okay.
And I want to say we were probably for 20 episodes, that's what it was called. And then I brought on my friend Alexa, and she's like, maybe let's change the name of it. So we really thought of how we wanted to grow the brand and expand it, because now it's called Light Up Your Life Collective, because I do speaking, coaching, books and different things like that.
Isn't it crazy how it all like evolves from like the first idea?
Exactly. So it was kind of a snowball effect. And then Light Up Your Life, every single day you have to be the one that makes the decision that you want to change your life. And for me, I'm a living example of that. So it's kind of how it evolved.
Awesome. And then and speaking, you said I tell people that all the time. They're like, there was a guy I had on here, Jason Shipley. He has run a 5K. He's like on 1,100 days in a row. He's run a 5K.
That's amazing.
And like I see it, like,
Wow.
I'm like, you must really love running. He's like, no, I hate it.
Yeah,
So
I hear that a lot.
All the things, I mean, but the things like I don't like going to waking up at 4:30 in the morning every day to go to the gym, but I get up and do it. You know, it's like that's part of just
It's
who
a
I am.
muscle
Like I
you
have
grow.
to, yeah, exactly. So like doing those things that make us uncomfortable is what gets you off of the bench and in the game.
That's the biggest
So,
thing.
Did you have somebody kind of pushing you for that, or was it like you pushing you? Because it seems like you were maybe pretty
Yeah, I think it was just intrinsic motivation that I was like, I just made the decision that I wanted to be the one to break these generational curses. I wanted to be the one to show women what's possible of going through all these different circumstances. So I feel like I really pushed myself, but I think Ed Mylett has been such a guiding light because he went through a very similar upbringing as me, and I relate to him so much. And so I feel like after being on his show and seeing what he's built, it really gave me the motivation. Like right after that, I started my podcast. And so I think it's just looking up to people. And I always tell people I love mentors who have been where I was, but more importantly, who have what I want, right? The impact, what they've been able to build. And I'm like, if someone else can do it, then why can't I do it? And so I think that's where a lot of my motivation comes from as well. But I also think it's God. I feel like God gives us an individual vision that no one else can see.
Right.
And even when I had 3 people listening to my podcast, I'm like, no, this is going to explode. This is going to be a massive impact in the world. And so I feel like you just have to hold on to that vision. You have to have so much faith and belief that everything is going to work out. And so when you build that muscle and you realize that God always has your back, I think it's really helped me. It's given me a lot of peace in my life.
That's the goal, right? Peace and joy.
Yeah, and now it's really, for me, my goal right now is regulating my nervous system. I grew up with walking on eggshells, never feeling safe. Like I always had to work and do all these things and provide for myself. And now I'm just finally relaxing and feeling peace and realizing that this is my new normal, because it wasn't my normal for so long. So making everything, people I'm meeting, experiences, like the money that's coming in, I'm all trying to normalize it, that this is my new normal. So I think that's also important to do.
Would you say that there's like, because like you said, not worrying about anything anymore or relaxing, would you say that there's like a level of like, I don't know how to say this, like you don't care? I mean, not care like you don't care, but like just that it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, I think it was just giving up control. That's been really powerful for me, knowing that God always has my back and he is the provider.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what's allowed me to give up control. And then when you release control and you just start bringing in so many incredible possibilities and different circumstances and things into your life. So I believe that God always has a better plan for us, and his plan is way better than we can imagine. So I love now giving up control and knowing that everything is happening for me. So I think it was a combination of like feeling peace, knowing that God always has my back, and then just realizing that there's so much abundance out there. There's so much opportunity, and it's really just changing your mindset around that.
Faith, trust, and action.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
That's pretty much how I live my life.
That's part of your brand, right?
No, not really. Faith is for sure. But I mean, that's kind of how everything you just said and how your walk is exactly how I walk on a daily basis too. And I feel like that there's like a level of confidence, like when I walk out of the door, that because of having trust in God, like, hey, God's got me no matter what. And then that's the reality of life, is that you're either going through something, you're fixing to go through something, or you're coming out the other side. So the circumstances don't make me who I am. They're just part of the journey. And it's powerful that, you're able to take the same things that, I guess didn't hold you back, but things that you want to make changes on and make changes on them.
Yeah. I think things that were meant to destroy you, and looking at them from a different lens and using them as fuel. So fear has also really like lit a fire inside me, right? And then also just knowing what I don't want. I grew up knowing exactly what I don't want. So it really gave me a clear vision as to what I do want. And so I think when a lot of these hard circumstances happen in our life, it allows us to see, okay, I don't want to live this way anymore, right? That pain allows you to step into your purpose. So I think for me, pain is the driving factor for me. Like I have still nightmares that I don't have my own place and I'm living back home. And it's kind of crazy, because that's something that I still fear, and I'm like still working through that. But yeah, I think that's a big driver for me. And then just faith, and then knowing that there's so many magical experiences. Like life is so good, and there's so many, our best experiences are still yet to be lived. And so I think I look at life through that lens as well.
Are you like when you walk out the door in the morning, do you like notice everything around you and like the birds chirp and the sunrise, like all that stuff? Or
I try to now, yes. I try to live in the moment more, because I was always thinking about what's next. And I would always be on like autopilot, having a massive checklist of things that I want to do. And now I spend a lot more time being in the moment, watching the sunset, watching the sunrise, journaling, and just taking in the moment, where before I wasn't doing any of that. Before I'm like running on autopilot and just kind of running on a scarcity mindset. And you're like, okay, what's next? What's the next best thing I could do?
That's the world nowadays. I mean, I noticed that myself. I notice now that I pay more attention. As soon as I walk out the door in the morning, it's usually dark. I look up, I see the moon, or I'm like, I see you, God.
Yeah.
Like, and just being able to experience life. I mean, that's why I tell people I don't like to use mind or mood altering substances anymore. I can do whatever I want if I wanted to, but I just feel like I get to experience life and enjoy every moment. And that's what God wants. I mean, that's what life is about, is to be able to go through those things and have memories and have experiences and share your experiences with others.
Yeah. I still think that's a work in progress for me because I still have so much going on in my life. And I'm like, is this a distraction? So now, and I say this probably on every single one of the podcast episodes that I do, I like to evaluate how my energy is after every conversation, after every interview, after like every encounter, just because I want to be around people that raise my vibrational frequency. And so I think that's been really big for me. But sometimes I'm like, okay, what I'm doing right now is depleting me. So I think it's just having that awareness, that self-awareness, that self-introspection too. And then that will allow you to be more present in the moment.
I'm a big energy guy. I don't know. Somebody told me that recently, or I heard it from somebody. It's like, oh, the way you are, what you are is what you're going to attract.
Yeah.
So
Law of attraction. I talk about that all the time.
And it's true, because like if you're, this depressed mindset, or you're like, oh, my life sucks. And it's like, guess what? Just things are just going to keep happening to you. Instead of like, I tell, like I'm not rich. I don't, I got a lot of bills, but like, I swear, like as soon as I stop caring about like money or the bills or whatever it is, it's like, it just keeps, the phone keeps ringing. It's not like a super, super abundant, but it's enough, the cup keeps overflowing. So
because you have no resistance. I love talking about this topic. One of my mentors, Kevin Trudeau, I have to connect you with him. He's amazing. But he talks about most of the population. We have five main brain frequencies, and most of the population is on autopilot, and they're broadcasting at a beta brainwave frequency, which is scarcity mindset, right? They don't think they're going to have enough, or they're in the negative mindset. But the wealthy people are broadcasting a frequency of theta brainwave, right? They're operating on a completely different frequency, and that's why they're bringing in so much abundance, because they're thinking at such a positive level, and they have no resistance about what they want to bring into their life, right? A lot of times I feel like, at least for me growing up, we never had enough money, so scarcity was what I was vibrating at. And if you're vibrating at that frequency, that's what you're attracting back to you. So it's really realizing that your thoughts, our brain is a sender and receiver of frequencies. Yeah. And so realizing that everything I said was broadcasting a frequency, and then that's coming back to me. So it really starts to make you aware of your thoughts and wanting to get at a higher frequency. But foods, what we eat affects it. Fluoride affects your pineal gland. So your pineal gland is the one that's like really broadcasting. And so they're trying to calcify our pineal gland with all these different foods and all of these different things, 5G. And so it's inhibiting our ability to be able to manifest what we want. So I can go and speak to this all day, but I think everything is interconnected. Your thoughts, what you eat, how you feel, how you show up, who you surround yourself with, all creates the reality that you live in.
I agree. You talked about mentorship a few times now, and I believe I would like to hear your thoughts on mentorship, on how it helped you and the importance of it.
Yes. So mentorship has transformed my life. Like I mentioned, I didn't have a great example from my parents what I wanted to be like. So I started reading, I started listening to podcast interviews, going to these conferences. And so I've learned a tremendous amount from all my mentors. My first mentor was actually Jay Shetty. I was part of his genius community. And so it just really helped to change my mindset and my perspective around so many things. And it just shows you what's possible for your life. And so then, I've had so many mentors, sales mentors. And then I think as you grow and evolve, your mentors should change, at least for me.
100%. Because you grow and change.
Exactly. Yes. So, anyone listening to this, if you don't have a mentor, you need to get one. And I will never hire someone who doesn't have their own mentor, because I think there's always a next level to everything. Yes.
And then have you invested in mentorship? Or I call it investing in myself, because I spend
all the time.
Yes,
I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into my education, and I wouldn't be who I am today without my mentors guiding me, helping me set goals, showing me like different processes, and just so many things.
Because I feel like too, like when somebody, invests in themselves by paying me to be their mentor, like I'm operating on a different level now. Like I'm like, I got to show up way better now because they're, you know, need me. Right. And you know, so I say that to say this because I think there is a lot of limited mindsets in the world, and it's like, oh, I can't afford this or I can't afford that. And it's like, you need the best investment you can make is in yourself. It's the only stock that you have control over.
Exactly.
And I just think it's important because I had that mindset where like, oh, I can't afford to pay this or I can't, you know, but as soon as I started investing, that's when like I started operating on a different frequency.
It's like, how can I afford it? Not, I can't afford it, but how can I? And so it's just asking yourself different questions. And I had to go through that too. I'm like, well, I don't have this, but I mean, like you mentioned too, that we can spend hundreds of $1,000s and take out a loan for college, but you can't spend $5,000 on someone who already has what you want. So
That's it.
And most of these professors too, just to be honest, like business professors, they've never even ran a business. So it's so interesting. You really want to learn from someone who has built what you want to build.
It's doing what you want to do, plain and simple. Like
Exactly.
everybody that I'm like attracted to is like something that I want to be or I want to grow into. Like that's who I'm talking to. That's who I want in my life. If I don't know how to do something, I'm going to find somebody that knows how to do it better than me.
Yes.
And I'm a big, like, I learn fast. I don't know how. And then I'm like I'm linked up with a guy who's Jonnie, shouting you out, maybe if you're watching this, but his name's Jonnie too. And he is a connector. That's all he does is connect people. And it's like, you know, of course I've, in the space of being a creator, I'm sure you get it too, where people reach out and they want to, you know, collaborate with you and have you be affiliates with their brands. And like I've gotten to the point now where it's like, I don't just want to align, unless I'm aligned, I don't want to just take money just because they're paying me.
Exactly.
So I want to like ask questions and be like, what's your background? Like, why are you doing what you're doing? And long story short is that like, I want to do what Jonnie's doing. I'm like, how do I become a connector? I don't want to be an affiliate brand ambassador. I want to be the guy that connects brand. So like, I'm like learning a space and then like, how do I get to the top of that space? I got so much going on. I'm so crazy, but I make it work.
Me
I don't
too.
know how.
Yeah, I'm very similar to you.
I feel like if my plate is not overflowing, then I'm not operating properly. But I've always like, what's your thoughts on balance?
Gosh, I say I want balance in my life, but I don't even know the last time I took just a vacation. Every time I go somewhere, it's because it's like a business connection or it's a podcast interview or it's me learning.
But you're passionate about that. So it's not like it's
I love
work.
it. Exactly.
Yeah,
so it's not like work. No, I don't think if you want to build anything substantial that you're going to be able to balance everything. There's going to be one area of your life where you're going to be focusing on, whether that's if you want to build a relationship, a marriage, or have kids, or you want to grow your business. So I feel like I just give my time and attention to whatever I want to build in that moment. So,
the one of the things that I've learned over the years was, I haven't mastered it, but I'm definitely getting close with balancing things is like, all right, if I'm going to do jail ministry, okay, I got 4 Tuesdays a month. I'm committing myself because I don't do anything unless I'm going to be committed to it. Like I'll just say sorry, you know, and I'm usually all in. Anybody asks me to do something, like, sure. But there's a caveat to where, you know, am I neglecting my most important ministry, which is at my house, right? My family. And over the years, I don't even have to hear my wife be like, I miss you. Like I can see it. I see like, all right, well, I need to step back here and start giving her some more attention. And so like, even with like Iron Legacy Collective, we just started 2 months ago now. Like I was in a Bible study for 4 years I was the OG, the only guy that started it originally. And obviously it's grown into, you know, I think we've had up to 30 guys at one point. And I stepped away from it because I was in this new season that, you know, I truly believe God was calling me into with the Iron Legacy Collective. And, you know, I didn't want to step away for years. I'm like, no, I'm the OG. Like I've got to be here. And it's like, no, like the kingdom needs to grow. And for that to grow, like sometimes we need to all go in our different ways. And so like you add something, but then you take something away. So like that, when I say balance, that's what I'm saying is that like, you're still doing everything you're doing. You're just like trying something for a little while. And it's like,
Priorities, for sure. And it's even the Bible where he talks about, you have to prune your vegetables and your plants in order to grow.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think I've had to let go of a lot of good things in my life to create a lot of greatness, whether that's people, whether that's location, circumstances, different opportunities to be able to step into what I truly feel is valuable in the moment. So I definitely have my priorities. I set my schedule the night before. I know exactly what I'm doing. And I think it's also important to schedule time for yourself too, because I've talked to so many people and coached them, and they're giving all of their energy away to other people. And so I feel like it's very important for anyone listening to this too, is knowing that your time and energy is the most valuable asset. And so it's like, where are you prioritizing? And then who is also prioritizing you?
Yeah.
So.
I feel like that was important to talk about too, because you said you're very similar with that mindset. So what's next for you?
What's next? So many fun things, but I just opened up my wait list for my women's empowerment community. It's called Queens of Light. So it's a branch of my podcast, all of the speaking engagements. I do workshops. So growing that, my goal for next year is to have at least 10,000 people in it. The community, it's going to be online, but then also going to different locations and having workshops, speaking at more engagements. We have an incredible I Can Summit, which is September 12th, and I'm going to be hosting the women's group there. I definitely want you to come to that. So just, expanding, collaborating, growing the podcast has been huge for me. Definitely want to open up a studio within this year, since I just moved to Tampa not too long ago.
Any tips you need, I got you.
Thank you. Yeah, so a lot of exciting things, just basically expanding, growing, just because I know I'm going to be changing more lives.
That's awesome. So still keeping your impact at the forefront, legacy,
Absolutely.
and so let's dive into that. What would you say for you, I guess, in this season is your biggest legacy or impact you want to leave on the world?
Yeah, I think it's showing women what's actually possible. You can come from so many different circumstances. You can come from a family that's beaten you down and showed you a different way, but you can rise above, right? You can completely transform your life if you just have enough belief within yourself. And I think it's also having that spiritual connection with God. I think that's really helped me get clear on where I'm going and what He wants for me. And so knowing that I'm just a conduit of the work that He wants me to do, it's so much bigger than me. It's way bigger than myself. And so I'm just, following His plan and knowing that you can be, do, or have anything. You don't have to let your past define you, your past circumstances. You can definitely rise above. And it's just making that one decision. And then it's making that decision every single day. And then soon enough, it's going to compound, and your life is going to be like waking up and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I created this. It's so exciting.
So your biggest passion is, helping more women.
Helping women heal from the trauma that they went through and really step into their power. Yes.
And then it's safe to say we've all been through trauma in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
I was at an event with my mentor down in Lauderdale, I would say 2 months ago, and I've been sharing a lot about this lately because it's opened up my eyes to how we hold things and we don't even know it. This young lady she's like 60 years old. She changed her name, from her original birth name, because her father gave her name. And she had this resentment against her father for 60 years. The guy wasn't even around anymore. And it wasn't, the guy, our Ryan saw it and was called her out. Was who wronged you? Was it your father or your mother? She's like, oh, it was my dad. Boom, right into it. Starts in tears. It wasn't abusive or anything, but it was just a lack of, him being there, really.
Yeah.
And he was providing, he was always working, and that's something that stuck with her for years. And she opened up, we did role play right there, and she left it on the stage that day. And it was so powerful to me to see that how these beliefs and mindsets that are poured into us at a young age subconsciously, that we carry it with us our whole lives, and it affects every decision we make our whole lives. And all she had to do was get it out and heal. And so if you could do it sooner or help somebody get there sooner, they would have so much more of a fulfilling life, fulfilled life, and then be able to carry it and help somebody else. Because
Yeah, I think forgiveness is the most important thing. I mean, I had to forgive my father and my mother and forgive myself. And I think it's given me just so much peace and making me look at a completely different perspective. Like, he just couldn't have the strength to heal from what he went through, and he's still suffering. Like, I can't even imagine like waking up and like going through what he's going through, because he's still masking all of that pain and that hurt and that suffering, and it's so toxic to keep that bottled in. So I mean, I just pray for them.
That's it.
That's all I can do. It's been hard having a relationship with my mother too, because she's still in it and she still defends him, and it's really hard navigating that whole dynamic. But I've definitely forgiven them so I can forgive myself, and it feels like you relinquish so much energy. I feel so much lighter.
Well, it's loving them, right? Loving them where they're at, no matter what, right? Like as a mother, as a parent, like the unconditional love that Jesus has for us is like, I can portray that to even my parents, even though they're my parents or my mom. Like I have unconditional love for her no matter what. Like I don't agree with some of the things that she does or she's done in the past or how she treated me and treats my brother different or whatever it was, right? So, but I love her no matter what. And that's I think the biggest thing that I took from dealing with my past and my childhood and the things that I went through was that I love them, you know, where they're at too. And that's the thing, I speak on that a lot too, is like, man, the world is so divided. I think religion was created to divide people. I think politics is created to divide people. I think the world is super, super divided. And like, I want to be a catalyst for change of that, because like, just because you don't like who I like, or I think it's born into us. Like even with football and sports, you're like, oh, I can't get along with that guy because he's a Giants fan. It's like, bro, it's a person. Like just because he likes the Giants doesn't mean we can't hang out and have a barbecue together. Like, and so I want to see that change to where like we can all get along and you know, I just see like hate in people's hearts. They've done so much conditioning, society, the news, for us to get to this point. It's really sad. And I think probably like why I have an open heart to that is like because I stopped. You know, I can get along with anybody. You know, and I wanted to, and you bring that to the room, right? You bring that, what energy you bring, you're bringing around people. So like with gossiping, or like my family was the worst at gossiping, but like when you're in the room and like my brother's talking about my sister, I'm like, bro, she's not even in here. Like, why do you got it? But you can see how the room shifts whenever you stand up and you say something instead of just allowing it to happen like it always has. Like, oh, well, now I'm not going to talk junk about my sister around Jonnie anymore. It's like, but that makes you think that because you set the standard, right? And it was completely out of love. It wasn't like calling anybody out, telling him he was a piece of crap, but being able to do it in a way coming from a loving way to where you're not making somebody feel uncomfortable or they want to come at you. So I think God has kind of given me that gift, and it's definitely something that I want to use this platform for 100%. That's great. It's beautiful. Where can people find you? So I'm most active on Instagram. So it's my full name, Samantha Lynn Peters. My website is lightupyourlife.org. And I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, but those are my main two places where you can find me. That's awesome. And you're in Tampa now. I'm in Tampa. Is that home for you now? Home is Tampa. Yes, awesome. It feels like home. I've met the most incredible souls, and yeah, it's been a blessing. I feel like this area of Florida is like, well, where we're at here, Port St. Lucie, like we're 2 hours Miami to Orlando, and then 3 hours to Tampa. And I used to be a firefighter in city of Seminole, and I lived in Fort Pierce, so I put 80,000 miles on a car driving there for a year straight. It was every third day, but like it's still like it's drive. Well, it's long for some people, but like I'm used to it. But I think that in this area, you're connected to, you know, so many amazing things, amazing places. Like Ocala is beautiful places. We just don't have mountains. That's it. I know. It's okay. That's the one thing. We're good without them. Go see the garbage mountain. So awesome to have you. Awesome conversation. Yes. I think there was a lot of amazing things that were said today on both of our podcasts. Absolutely. I think the collaboration was absolutely awesome. And you have anything else you want to say to the folks?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for hosting me and having me here. Yeah, I just want to reiterate that you can change your circumstances. You don't have to be defined by your past. You can create a really bright vision for your future. You just have to love yourself enough to do that, and then just take steps every single day to get there.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you again.
Welcome.
Thank you, folks, for tuning in again. Don't forget to go check her out. We're going to put all of her links in the bio. Go follow her, see what she's got going on, and hit the like, subscribe button. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Discipline Legacy Podcast.